Garry, when you see the Week 1Z tournament which played in January, and you saw the level of chess was played, you think you could win it?
Look, I always, I was always very cautious in answering hypothetical questions. So I quit playing chess. So I know that, when you watch the game, so it's, they made a mistake. So that's, but I also know that it's easy to criticize being on the side. Because when you are at the board, the clock is ticking. Actually, it's not ticking anymore, it's digital. But still, you are under pressure of making a move, and not to lose on time. The chance of making a mistake is really huge. So they played very different chess today. It's more based on the preparation. It's probably more rigid. It's probably a little bit less creative. But I don't think it's wrong or it's good or bad. It's just a matter of fact. We live in a world which changes. And this new generation of players, Nakamura, Carlsen, Karyakin, so they were born in the different era. And I just, I take it as granted. And I'm not measuring my own performance to the modern events. I love watching the games of chess because now I could feel that, I could do great. But I also understand it's more of the ego massage rather than the real exercise.
Yeah, why did you quit?
Because you have to start new endeavors in your life. So I always thought about not just about winning, but about making the difference. I did more difference than anybody could dream of in the game of chess, and I thought I needed just to switch to something else, just to keep myself moving. So I believe everybody needs challenges.
Are you thinking to open a chess school of your foundation in Portugal?
No, it's not. I have one foundation in America with very generous donors that has been working there for 8 years. We have programs in more than 3,600 schools across the country there. I'm doing lectures for talented kids there. Unfortunately, in Russia, in my country, there's very little interest so far by the government to promote chess at the same level. So but I wish chess will be part of the educational system in every country.
You should talk about change in strategy. Do you think that this time could be a good turning point?
Look, crisis is a great opportunity. So it's because at the end of any crisis, you have very few survivors. So today, I believe those who could think about distant future, those who could come up with some concepts that will be winning tomorrow, those will survive, because everybody who is clinging to the status quo, I think, will washed away by history.
With whom you wouldn't play a game of chess?
Sorry?
With whom?
I'm not, because I'm retired, so I'm sorry.
Do you know the Mourinho phenomenon?
Sorry?
The Mourinho phenomenon. The coach, Mourinho.
A
football coach.
Yes,
coach.
Yes.
What do you think about it? You think he's a
He's
strategist?
Look, somebody who shows such great results with different teams definitely should be a great psychologist and the man who understands strategy. Because as I talked in my lecture, it's every decision you make in football, in chess, in military, in politics, has the same ingredients. So just you have to understand the nature of the decision making, and definitely he can just grasp all these elements and come up with the best strategy in different situations.
Once you said that chess is a mental torture, you still subscribe?
Look, torture is some kind of exaggeration. So you have to mobilize your brains. But for me, it was always a great mental pleasure.
And you think that sports could give lessons to the political and economic leaders?
No, the sport, all the real difference between sport, let's say chess or football, and politics or business is that you have a clear result. Because you can't say, oh, we were better, but we lost. So you lost, you lost. So in politics, you can claim whatever you want. So it's this, you can always have fine excuses. So, but at the end of the day, the quality of decision making can be judged in a similar fashion in chess, in business, in football, in military, because I believe, you know, it has the same ingredients. We all go through the similar process in reaching the decision.
And for you, what are the references in the leadership of sports in the world?
What do you mean?
The great references in sports leadership.
Well, there are many examples. I mean, you mentioned just one, the Spanish coach, you know, so also the man who just, you know, brought the team to the very top. So, I mean, football offers many examples, but, you know, in other sports, look, every phenomenal result is based on an exceptional leadership. A little or nothing.
Yeah, and,
Can I make a quick question?
What is the situation in your country with the President Putin?
Actually, it's an amazing Freudist mistake. Putin technically is not president, but you're absolutely right. He's in charge. So it just shows that, you know, people don't buy this, you know, this temporary departure from the officially highest position in Russia, because Putin is, you know, is like a boss of bosses, capo di tutti capi. So that's and Medvedev more likely playing a role of a consigliere. So just advising the big boss on how to build relations with, you know, police and outside world to benefit mostly from this kind of relations. Russia is everything but democracy today. It's an authoritarian regime. Could be ranked as Chavez.
It's a real democracy?
Sorry?
It's a real democracy?
It's not everything but democracy. I said it's not a democracy. I mean, we can argue whether it's authoritarian regime or it's worse, but it's more like a mafia state where, you know, loyalty is the only criteria for promotion. So you may compare it to Chavez Venezuela, to Zimbabwe, maybe to Egypt. Actually, Egypt is improving now dramatically. To Belarus, to Alexander Lukashenko's state. But unfortunately, Mr. Putin and his cronies have been treated for a long time as equals by the democratic leaders. And that caused a great confusion among people in Russia. And the rate of stealing in Russia, it's absolutely phenomenal. So I know that corruption is a problem everywhere. In Russia, corruption is not a problem, corruption is a system.